Hello, and welcome to the Ethanol Producer Magazine podcast. I am your host, Anna Simet. We are here live at the International Fuel Ethanol Workshop and Expo, the trade show floor. I am here with McCord Pankonen from EcoEngineers. McCord, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. So McCord, how about we start today by having you tell us about EcoEngineers and yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So EcoEngineers, headquartered in Des Moines, Iowa, what we really do is we help different industries create carbon intensity or carbon management plans. And so we help, in this case, ethanol producers, biodiesel producers create carbon strategies, whether it's consulting, helping producers essentially create and understand what their CI scores are. We can also help them understand what carbon markets are advantageous to them. We also help ethanol producers and biodiesel producers stay compliant within those markets, and obviously things that they're engaged in terms of their strategy. So we help really understand what the compliance piece is for them, and then also we educate. So with 45Z and a lot of the tax incentives, really, what does it mean? A lot of things are new. We have some state level um, programs that have some revisions that take place. So we're the folks that read the 2,000-page document and make
Thank
sense
you
of
for
it.
that.
Yeah. And so, it's really, we get requests of all kinds. And so we can help technology providers to the industry as well create carbon intensity models so they can engage producers on what the footprint might look like if they adopt a technology. So, we're pretty well rounded. We're a pure play carbon management company. That's what we're focused on. Recently, we were acquisitioned by LRQA in March of this year, and really what that meant was um, we are essentially got a deeper bench now. LRQA is essentially an inspection company, a certification company for ISO. And so they're obviously involved in renewable energy as well, and a vast different markets also. So we're pretty excited about what that is going to bring for us. And so we're going through that integration process right now. But ultimately, we're going to have a lot more capability to provide to not only this industry, but different industries as well. As far as my background, I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I've been a producer at one time, recently a general manager at an ethanol plant in Minnesota. Been in the chemical industry, also the corn seed technology. So have that agricultural background as well. Um, but at EcoEngineers, leading our biofuels team, so I'm the managing director of our our biofuels services at EcoEngineers.
Okay. Very cool. So tell us more about what EcoEngineers is doing to support the low carbon journey for ethanol producers and other biofuel producers.
Yeah, I wish I could say it was as easy as just saying it's, this widget going into this plant and producing this thing, but carbon is certainly a lot more complex situation, I would say. And really, it boils down to the location of a producer, what is available to them. So we help build strategy for biofuel producers, what technologies are available to them, what policies they should take advantage of based on the technology, and also the carbon markets that are advantageous to them. And so we say location matters. So if you're an ethanol plant or biodiesel plant in Minnesota, your options versus someone in Kansas or Indiana or even on the East Coast or West Coast are much different. So it's not a one size fits all in terms of the carbon, I would call it, journey for biofuel producers. And so we really try to depict and offer up what is the best options for them for long-term viability, but also for those folks that are really looking to advance in the low carbon space. Reducing carbon intensity obviously is the focal point. So we help them understand what their carbon intensity is as a starting point, and then we work through the modeling, the technologies, the markets, and then obviously try to apply the right state and federal policies that make sense for them to monetize their reduction in carbon.
Very good answer. So What should biofuel producers be doing to ensure their business is well positioned for any tax incentives or any additional markets, creating financial diversification?
That is, if I had a crystal ball and could tell everybody what they needed to do, that would be certainly something that, I'd be a rich person at the moment. But what I tell folks is right now, in the midst of what is going on in Washington, some of the state level revisions that are going on in low carbon programs, for instance, California, there's some revisions going on, is really well, also in export markets as well, with the tariffs and things that are going on. I mean, really staying abreast of what's going on. I hate to say it, but read, understand, engage your technology providers, engage your carbon management consultants, engage your tax, consultants. Really try to understand, because knowledge is power, especially when we're waiting for some decisions to be made, whether that's at the federal or state level. But really, I say something that's underestimated is really understanding what markets are available. And I mentioned that location matters, to folks, but really trying to dive into the details and understand if there are policies, markets, or technologies that are viable to you. Really understand what that complexity looks like. It's easier said than it's done, but we are here to help support the industry, and I think there are technology providers and other service vendors that are willing to do the same thing.
Things are happening so fast right now too. It's like
That's
I'll write
true.
a story for the magazine, and then by the time it's print time, it's
Yeah,
it's no good.
that is so true. Ultimately, that's why I say staying abreast of what's going on. We have regulatory engagement folks that are, just hired to do just that. And so engaging with industry advocacy, Growth Energy, Renewable Fuels Standard or Renewable Fuels Association, ACE, others, even at the state level, because things are changing at the state level as well. I mean, we have, what is it, 7 states that are looking at policy adoption for low carbon transportation fuels, which is great. Um, and you got some that are revising because they're trying to tighten up maybe some of the rules, if you will, but really staying abreast and staying engaged in those conversations, I think are going to help producers understand what those changes, or hopefully with some of the legislation that's going to be passed here, are going to benefit, hopefully positively impactful.
For sure. So, McCord, what's the biggest trend or opportunity that you guys are seeing in the industry that will allow producers to lower their carbon intensity of production facilities?
Yeah, so I mentioned location, and it's really divulging what is available to me based on my strategy. So, again, if you think about a plant that is situated in Kansas, I have 2 feedstocks really that I have. What opportunities can I engage based on my feedstock um, diversification? Technology, if you're, eh, you know, I guess you have the ability to sequester, self sequester. That's obviously good for you, but not everybody has those options. If you're a plant that's situated somewhere that can't sequester, is utilization an opportunity? What do those things look like? So I think the trend is I want to know as much as I can, but I also need to understand what I'm capable of in terms of a producer. And so again, we try to help those. I know other vendors are doing the same thing, but different state level policies are driving opportunities too. So if you think about Minnesota wants to be the SAF hub of in the United States, that's great. Maybe looking at the opportunity for SAF for some of the Minnesota producers is something that's in their long-term vision. So anyways, I would say that just staying knowledgeable, staying nimble, be flexible with what's happening, but staying engaged. I think that's the number one trend that right now folks I see, especially from our engagements with pilot producers, but also technology providers as well. They want to know what we know, and we also want to know what they know too. So,
Well, give and take.
right, exactly, right.
All right. So, what is one thing that is underestimated regarding low carbon opportunities in biofuels?
Well, I think that there's certainly different strategies. Again, I'm going to go back to location, but have you vetted, opportunities in terms of maybe a tax strategy? Are you willing to transfer that tax credit or claim it yourself? These are some questions I think that producers are asking themselves and their boards. What partnerships should I engage in? Do I look at a traditional funding for my project, go to the bank, lend traditionally, or do I look at a partnership? Obviously, when you look at a partnership, there's obviously a funding split that happens. So it really boils down to, I would call it an appetite for what risk levels you have. So when you look at carbon intensity reduction, you're really balancing business risk and investment viability. And I think that everybody has a different taste for and a different level of expectation too. So that's going to really, I think, something that's underestimated, especially when you look at partnerships. And how you want to monetize your carbon reduction. I think there's not a one size fits all in that strategy piece.
Well said. Well, what are you excited to see happen in 2025 for biofuel producers? Could it be
Oh,
RVOs?
tell me about it. Let's talk about all the good stuff that's going to happen. I'm optimistic at heart, and so obviously finding a long-term solution for E15. I think that's
Yes.
certainly important. And all these things are going to create a jolt of energy for industry, which obviously when you have a high confidence in the industry, certainly, the wheels start moving, investment happens, and then projects happen. And, we get back to what we're, used to doing, which is providing solutions, and moving the industry forward. I also think the RVOs, we heard, some advocacy leaders talk about that this morning. I honestly think if they come out in a positive light, that will certainly create some confidence as well. Obviously, that what's going on in Washington and just we understand that the administration is behind biofuels. That's great. We certainly won that through the first term, and hats off to the industry to get behind and put the boxing gloves on to create that momentum. And so it's good to see the administration behind biofuels. Um, we need to get these tax incentives passed. I think obviously, everybody's waiting. Some folks are moving forward. That's great. We do need some precedents set. So I do appreciate those leaders that are actually moving forward in that space. And I would just say that the technology advancements that are going to happen, I've been in this industry. I remember when all the plants were being built, and we knew who the all of the builders were. We knew, the Fagans and the ICMs of the world, right? Who are going to be these new technology providers that are actually going to put in carbon sequestration? Who are going to be the utilization technology providers? You name it. There's some different technology providers that are going to be required to be a part of this industry. So, looking at welcoming them, to the industry. So I think some diversity is good, but I just hope that we get some momentum on the things that I mentioned, and that there's some decisions that are made. So producers can actually execute their carbon intensity strategies for long-term viability. We want these plants to be around and this industry to be around, for years to come. This is a pivotal moment in the industry, and I certainly believe that there's some optimism behind it, and hopefully to see some good things happen here in the next couple of months.
Me too. Absolutely. McCord, anything else that you want to add before we wrap things up?
Well, I just appreciate BBI, obviously the opportunity to speak with you all today. And yeah, this is a pivotal moment in the industry, and I just think that there's going to be some positive things that come this year. Um, it won't come without some tribulations, but we'll make it through it. This industry's dealt with a lot worse, and we've come out on top. So I do believe the industry will come on top again.
This is true. Well, I know who to go to now when I have questions about all of this. So,
Sounds great.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, McCord. We appreciate you and Eco Engineers, and thanks for being here.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. And to our viewers, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time.